In today's video, we're going to be looking at the order of operations. So this should be kind of like a review, so it's just like a little introductory lesson. We'll begin by writing our essential question. And our essential question will state that, how do I use the order of operations How do I use the order of operations to help me solve a problem? Now, if you remember, some of us might have learned how to remember the order of operations in different ways. There's the acronym, where we just use the letters, PEMDAS, so P-E-M-D-A-S, or some people might have learned it as Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. But what this does is just gives us a way to help us memorize the order in which we're going to do our operations. So you might recall that the P stands for parentheses. We have different kind of parentheses. You could have our normal looking parentheses, or you might see brackets, kind of look like boxes, or they're very boxy looking. And then after parentheses, we have exponents. And exponents are when we have those little numbers up high, right to the right of a base number. So for example, I might have something like 5 squared. 5 squared being the same as 5 times 5. And then we'd simplify that to be 25. So whenever we see an exponent, we're just multiplying a number by itself that many times. Maybe another example would be, say, 3 cubed. So how many 3's will we multiply together? We'll multiply 3 3's together. So we'll have 3 times 3 times 3. And if we multiply these together, we'll have 3 times 3 is 9. And then 9 times 3 is 27. Next, we kind of group multiplication and division together. So we'll do multiplication / division. And the reason why we're putting multiplication and division together is because when it comes down to this step, we want to do these left to right. And you'll see an example in the future that really explains this. And just like multiplication and division is done left to right, the same can be said for addition and subtraction. That's why we'll group these together as well. Because when we get down to addition and subtraction, we'll do them left to right. Now the word evaluate, what the word evaluate means is that it's pretty much a synonym or a similar word to the word solve. So as evaluate, we can think of as simplifying or solving a mathematical statement. So when we're evaluating something, we're simply trying to take something that looks like it has a bunch of numbers with some operations in between them, and then we'll use those operations to get us down to essentially our answer. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at some examples. For example 1, we first want to think about, we just want to start going left to right. We want to think about this. I want to think about the operations that I see. Well, I see subtraction, division, addition. So when I'm using my order of operations, which comes first? Subtraction or addition or division? So when I look at my steps, I have parentheses, there's no parentheses, no exponents. Oh, but look, we have division. So we'll do that one first. So I like to use my little lines to let me keep track of what I'm doing. So 4 divided by 2 would be 2. And what we want to do is we want to rewrite everything that we did not use. So we didn't really use the 6 and the minus, and we didn't use the plus 3. Now here's where that left to right idea comes in. It's not that we do addition first, but since I have subtraction and addition, I'm just going to go left to right. So I'll go 6 minus 2, and then I'll add 3. So I'll go 6 minus 2 is 4, bring down my plus 3. Then I'll add 4 and 3, and we get 7, and that's our final answer. Let's go ahead and look at our second example. 5 squared, 5 to the second power minus 10 divided by 2. Well, it looks like when we're thinking about our order of operations, I see an exponent, I see subtraction, and I see division. So when we look at our order, there's no parentheses, but there is an exponent, so we'll do that first. 5 squared is the same as 5 times 5, so that's 25. Then we're just going to bring the rest of this stuff down that we didn't use. And now I have subtraction or division. Well, if we look back up, we'll see, oh yeah, division comes before subtraction, so I'm going to do division first. So I'll go 10 divided by 2 is 5. Then we'll bring the 25 minus down. Now we'll finish up with this final bit of subtraction, and 25 minus 5 is 20. Next, we're going to look at our we're going to look at our number 3. And this one looks like it has a little bit of everything. I see parentheses, I see exponents, I see multiplication, subtraction, and division. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our parentheses. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the parentheses. So what the parentheses is telling me is that I just go and do each operation inside of the parentheses in the order that we do our order of operations. So when I'm inside my parentheses, I see exponents, I see subtraction, I see division. So I'm going to do my exponent first. 3 to the second power is 3 times 3 is 9. Then we have 8 times. We still have some stuff to do in the parentheses, so I'm going to keep my parentheses for now. And we'll do it like that. We're not going to get rid of our parentheses until we're done with everything on the inside of the parentheses. So now when I'm looking inside my parentheses, I see subtraction and division. So I'll do division first. 6 divided by 2 is 3. I'm going to keep my parentheses, keep my 9 minus, bring down that 8 times. So I'm still going to do what's inside my parentheses first, and that's subtraction, so 9 minus 3 is 6. Now that we're done with everything in the parentheses, we can kind of get rid of them, because we've done our exponent, we did our division, and we've done our subtraction. So we're done with everything inside the parentheses, so we can lose those, bring down the 8 times, and then I'm going to go ahead and put an equal sign since I'm running out of space and say 8 times 6 is 48, and we'll box our answer. Okay, I'm going to walk you through one more, and then number 5 and 6, I'm going to have you work on by yourselves. So let's see number 4. Okay, so when I'm looking at number 4, I see 16 divided by 4 times 8 minus 5 plus 2. So we'll do our division, and now we have division and multiplication. Remember, if it's multiplication division, we do it left to right. So even though we say the multiplication first, we always do division and multiplication left to right. So in this problem, I'm actually going to do division first. So I'll do my division. So I have 16 divided by 4 is 4. Then I'll bring down everything else. Now I have multiplication, subtraction, and addition. So I'll do my multiplication first. 4 times 8 is 32. I'll bring down my minus 5 and my plus 2. Now I'm left with subtraction and addition. Again, when we see subtraction and addition, we go left to right. So I'm going to do my subtraction first in this problem. 32 minus 5 is 27. Then we'll add 2. When we do that, we get 29. There's the answer to number 4. Now it seems like we're doing a lot with all this rewriting, but I promise you, a lot of times in math, the more we write, the less we will get wrong. So if you can get comfortable with writing more, really putting in that effort for writing, you will find that you make a lot less mistakes. So right now we're going to stop this video here, and I'd like you to try number 5 and 6. So go ahead and pause, and we'll look at 5 and 6, and then we'll come back and look at it together. So hopefully you took the time to pause and try these on your own. So what we're going to do is now what I see is I see parentheses inside of parentheses. So I'm going to do my most inner parentheses first. 15 minus 3 is 12. We're done with those parentheses, so we can drop these ones, but we're going to keep the bracket looking ones. We'll bring down our 11 times. Now I'm going to do what's inside these brackets before I do this multiplication. Because remember, parentheses come before multiplication and division. So I'll go here, and we'll go 12 divided by 3 is 4. Now that we're done with these parentheses, we can lose them or drop them. And then I'll bring down my 11 times. Then 11 times 4 is 44. And we're done with that problem. Number 6 is pretty straightforward. We have addition and division. We know that division comes first. So we'll do 9 divided by 3 is 3. And then we'll bring down our 15 plus. And then we'll do our 15 plus 3, and we get 18. And that's how we can use the order of operations to help us solve or evaluate mathematical statements.